Stepney the Special. Thomas the Tank Engine was feeling very happy. He was running his branch line right on time with his passenger train, and his blue coat shone in the sun like never before, and the branch line looked prettier in the springtime. Good morning, Percy. Good morning, Thomas. How are you today? I'm fine, Percy. My branch is the pride of the line. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, Thomas, I would agree, except out with it, Percy. I haven't got all morning. I have time to keep to. I am the Fat Controller's #1 engine. Well, it's just that there's another engine on the branch line who's famouser than you. What? Puffed Thomas. His name is Stepney. He works on the Bluebell Railway. The Fat Controller says he can come and visit sometime. When? Oh, someday, said Percy. Well, I want to meet this Stepney, said Thomas. His branch isn't as splendid as mine. My branch is the first on the line. And I'm the pride of Sodor. Oh, Thomas, said Percy, you know we're all the pride of Sodor. Now, Thomas was a little jealous. Rusty visited Stepney on the little railway. The little Bluebell engine was upset. Oh, Rusty, I am in need of more friends. You're all right, but I do like to have some standard gauge companions who have standard gauge thinking views, if you understand my meaning. Oh, I do, said Rusty. It's nice to have the standard gauge engines around, but I do like my narrow gauge friends, all the same. I'll speak to manager and see if he agrees with you going ahead to Sodor. There are plenty of standard gauge engines to meet there. Thank you, said Stepney. I just wish there were other engines who worked on the Bluebell Railway with me. And Rusty roared into life. Stepney was pleased to have Rusty as a friend. Manager came to see Stepney later that day. I have just spoken to the Fat Controller, said the manager. He says that he agrees to having you visit his engines on the island of Sodor. They will be pleased to meet you. They have all had many special stories about you. They are all impressed by you, Stepney. You will have a great show when you arrive. Stepney was excited. Thank you, sir. I can't wait to visit the island of Sodor. And they set off early next morning. But by now, all the other engines were talking about Stepney. I've heard he runs a famous branch line. Didn't you know that? Said Percy. I've heard he is very useful, said Edward. And very strong, said Duck. Huh. He may be famous, but my branch is the first on the line, said Thomas pompously. Aye, all branch lines are very useful. And Thomas puffed away to collect his coaches, ignoring Donald. Percy looked at the platform. Why have they all come? There is no train yet. Then the engines heard a roaring whistle with wheels pounding on the rails in the distance. Here he comes, yelled Donald. A small little engine puffed through the station. That's Stepney, said Duck. Nice to meet you, called Donald. The engines tooted. You will meet Thomas, said Edward. You both have branch lines to be proud of. Stepney worked with Duck in the yard shunting coaches all afternoon. The other engines were pleased to meet Stepney. Very splendid, whistled James, as they watched Stepney shunt the coaches. Hello, can't stop to talk for very long. I'm busy running my branch line, 'cause I'm the pride of the line. Goodbye. Thomas was hardly out of sight when Duck and Stepney heard a large commotion from the station. A special is due, said the workman. Stepney, you will wait in the yard while Duck takes it. No, said Duck. I'd like for Stepney to take it. He'll learn the line. Thank you, Duck, said Stepney. Woo-hoo! Why are we being delayed, said Thomas. Our train mustn't be late. We can't wait. We're being shunted to allow another train to pass. A special is coming. A special? I'm a special engine. Why am I not taking the special? They're letting Duck take it. Then they heard a roar on the tracks and a loud whistle. There was Stepney puffing around the bend, with headlamps swaying and wheels pounding the rails nicely. Thomas couldn't believe it. Well, bust my boiler, cried Thomas the Tank Engine. And he puffed away crossly. The next morning he was still fuming. Shunted, and on my own branch, too. It's a true shame. How absolutely, positively, over-the-top disgraceful. I'm sorry, said Stepney. If only I'd known that you were the engine to be shunted. What do you mean? Puffed Thomas. A special was ordered just as you left. They gave the special to Duck, but Duck said no, and Duck let me take it. It was a splendid run, but, finished Thomas, it can make an engine nervous not to know the line in a new country or a new island. Right-o, said Stepney. You really do know how to make a new engine feel comfortable. I do, puffed Thomas. And maybe the Bluebell Railway is fun, and I could visit sometime? Of course, puffed Stepney. Nowadays, Stepney and Thomas visit each other on the Sodor Railway and the Bluebell Railway, and Stepney is always pleased to have company from his friends on the island of Sodor. To make Stepney feel happy.